I remember describing a JoJo episode I watched to Max, and he was like, "Was this all one episode?" Also,
Yeah.
the fact that you would not accept the fact that JoJo was like 2014. Like, you were like, was it that? Huh?
I could
Because
swear that I did
it
not
was
watch it.
2014.
I still could swear that I watched it before I moved to Berlin, but apparently not. Time is.
Your memories are false. The simulation is glitching.
Yeah.
And hello, everybody, and welcome to the AWKWARDCast, where Ayn Wye and Keyframe wonder about random dribble. That was a great transition from me. I'm patting myself on the back. That was a good one.
It's true. True. I mean,
I wasn't planning for that to be a transition, but I saw that it hit noon, and I
was actually building up to a transition, so.
Yay! Same brain cell. Hello, Max.
Or the same. Hello, Griffy.
It's been a while.
It has been, and
yeah. And for all the chat knows is that this is the only time we talk to each other.
Exactly.
We don't communicate outside of this podcast.
But because we are antisocial, we still don't ask what we have been up to in the meantime, because except for media, we want to know what media we consumed in the meantime.
Yes, because we're filthy fucking consumers.
Yeah, seriously, who are you people? Who are you? How did you get in this call? How did you make it into the octagon?
Where are you from?
Can't you tell by my accent? I'm French.
Oh God, I got the worst flashback. No, I remember one of the first fucking conversations was like with someone in my family hearing your voice and being like, "Is he Spanish?" And I'm like, what fucking realm is this a Spanish person? He's been to a Spain, but he is not a Spain man. But like, it's been the constant thing.
Por favor, pardon. Alemán. No hable español. I just killed anybody who actually understands Spanish in the audience. They are like...
You killed the Duolingo owl. That is what happened. That bird is dead on the ground. Found dead in Miami. My fucking God. But, like, he's too white to be a Spain. No, you can be white and be Spanish. There's two different types of Spanish.
It's true. City dwellers and then the real ones.
Yeah. But, like,
and then the third type, German tourists.
Any European tourist.
That is a fun thing. If you land in Malaga at the big international airport in South Spain, you have the signs like something Spanish, luggage claim, Gepäck. The third language on the official third language on all the signs in the Spanish international airport is German. Tells you something about inter-European tourism.
Yes, it makes me think of how in Germany, the one thing I noticed, which saved my fucking ass the first time I was in Germany, was that the three languages that are mostly on things is German, English, and French. And if English wasn't on there, French definitely was. And I can read and speak French. So, like, it was like, oh, cool. No one else goes to Germany but its neighbor and Americans. This is, or I guess people from the UK. You know, that backwards place. Because I read those English translations. They had a U in it, like those bastard tea drinkers do.
I mean, the thing is, English is the accepted international language. So obviously it's the second one, and because Britain is right across the pond, not the big pond, the small one, like across the channel, we actually get taught British English in school. So that makes sense. But that France is a third language is still like,
Your neighbors. Your literal neighbors.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, like, we get the Mexican version of Spanish I don't know what you would call that. I don't think you don't say I speak Mexican.
But the
you
thing
say
is,
you speak Spanish. When you see like that translation across like English products here in the United States, it's that form.
But you have a strong migration and therefore a strong Spanish-speaking community. We don't have a French migration to Germany. We don't have a strong French-speaking community in Germany.
I mean, look, there's, I'm sure there's some history. Objectively, there is.
Given the topic we are talking about, that requires exactly this one. I need to keep it updated up there. I need to be topic accurate. We still don't have really a good one that represents media. Oh wait, no, we have one. Assuming we are moving on to media. I mean, we have.
I mean, like I had a.
Yes.
I think we should destroy all languages. Now follow me on this.
Okay.
I already saw the frontal lobe just shut off. You are thinking of what you're gonna have for lunch tomorrow. No.
But please go on.
Hey, Netroses, go back to Babylon. Not what I'm going for, but I like your spirit.
This is basically the opposite. It's reverse Babylon.
Yeah, I think we need to just make one language, which is a thing that people have tried to do. There is like a quote-unquote unified language. It is not spoken by a lot of people, but who else to pitch a better language to the world than two D-list podcasters?
We made it to D-list? Wow, nice. When did this happen?
Esperanza. Yes, that is the one. We should all speak Morse code. Okay, mute might actually have something going there.
But no, because Morse code is just for the letters. You can speak any language in Morse code.
I do like Magical do be like, can it be English? No, it needs to be a new language.
Everybody already speaks English. Just let's make it English. Honestly.
No. I mean, there's no effort there. That people unify through trauma. We got to give them the trauma of learning a new language. Everyone from every walk of life needs to be trauma bonded through learning this new language. You look so against this idea. English 2. I'm sorry. English 2 is
I mean, I would work. English 2 sounds appropriate. Like we take because there are still some stupid things even in English. English is already a very nice refined language, as in anything got sharp off. We don't even have different articles. It's just the. But we have good things, like a neat logic behind what gender we assign things. I mean, not like in German, where we have, like, let's see. Yeah, this is fine. This is a bad example, because as a glass as well as the water are actually neutral. However, that is feminine, not Starbucks, but the mug is feminine. The canter is male, obviously. What else do we have? Key is male again.
Next, he's gonna not even think and pull out his credit card with his full information. This is mine.
Credit card, by the way, female.
I hate gendered terms with these things, and you know. Because I remember learning this when I had to learn French and German. And it's like, come on. I'm disappointed in German. You're not even based in Latin. Why do you need to assign a gender? These things do not have reproductive organs. True. So, like, unless desks and bikes start spawning, like, genitalia, I don't see a reason why we need to give them gender terms.
And there's also no logic behind it. And as much as I love, and people can who talked with me about it before can confirm, I love shitting on French as a language, but when it comes to articles, Germany is just as bad. I mean, we have the neutral one, and sometimes we apply the neutral one to things where you think like, oh, okay, that makes sense, but not always. So, girl is neutral. Mädchen, das Mädchen. I mean, it's based, it's language based, because everything with a chen at the end is always neutral because it's a accusification, and Mädchen is derived from Magd, so the maid. So we basically call her the maidie. So wrong. and everybody with
and this is why we need English too.
Yeah, exactly. This is the point. I'm not defending German. I like to shit on other bad languages, but German is one of them. I mean, there's a reason why I speak more English than German.
I mean, like, look, I can make fun of English all I want for so many reasons when it comes to our language, especially just our world of homophones and antiphones and all those kind of things. Like all the different things that sound the same but are not spelt the same and mean different things, or things that are spelt like gobbledygook but are pronounced differently than how they are phonetically. Wednesday and February are fucking crimes against humanity. And I am tired of standing for it. Either we start pronouncing it February and Wednesday, or we change how they're spelt. Look, my name, my real life name that I use with like non-internet people is phonetic. Christine. You know the letters that are in there. I don't want anyone with them silent letters. You're not special. Let those letters scream, you know?
Do you not have an E at the end of your name?
Christine. Een. Yeah, there would be an E there.
Christine.
Ooh,
I never pronounced your name in German. This is so wrong to call you Christine.
Wait, Christine? No, because that's just Christina with an A! And that's what everyone thought my name was, and I got very cross.
That would be Christina. Christine is a different name.
Oh, your name is a phonetic for it doesn't start with a K. See, okay, again, a problem with English. Why does C and K have the same noise? Like the same short noise. Why is it both K and K? This is stupid. I don't like it. However, to shit on Germany for a second, let me tell you how many fucking times
Boy.
that I have seen Max compute in his head mentalist style to try to be like, and then ask, hey, what's the word for state phrase, like full on paragraph phrase of thing? And I'm like, you just say the phrase. Because you guys have fucking...
not a word for it? Don't you have a word? We have 5 different words for it in German.
This is how me and Denim are trauma bonded, because this is a stupid thing from your stupid fucking language.
What words? Or that we have words for specific.
You have words for just phrases. It's just kind of like, why don't you just say the phrase? Why do you have a word that means a sentence?
Efficiency.
It's not efficient.
Of course it is. It is efficient to the point where you steal words like Angst and Schadenfreude into English and you misuse them.
Yes, rhubarb barbara. Abracadabra. Oh, by the way, I guess this is a great way to transition into media. Because I'm not going to let the German say things that he finds stupid about the English language. That little twitch you had right there, Billy.
Mostly shitting about French, but
I showed Max the Barbara song, I guess, tongue twister TikTok that's been going around, and man, he had For someone who is a millennial, he had a very boomer moment of being like, I don't like the hip hop beat that they put behind it. Until, and then it starts going into a more traditional folk song at the end of it, and he's like, okay, I like it now. And I'm like, oh, come on, man. You don't like that the thing that you say in a rhythm has a fucking hip hop beat behind it? That's the fucking point.
Yeah, it was more like when they did this very like descriptive verbal, when they did not do the tongue twisting yet in the beginning of it. But then I listened to the full one and I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
I'm just saying,
But
you sounded a bit boomery there.
Oh, I'm an old
Back
man.
in my day, we didn't have cool beats behind our tongue twisters.
When you're getting this close to the big four in front as I am, then you actually have a legit amount of back in my days boomer moments. It's coming for all of you guys. Look forward to it. I'm not sure how far you individually are. It will come. Those moments where you're like, oh fuck, I'm sounding like an old person.
Isn't that the
fascinating? You cannot do anything.
Isn't it the fascinating thing though that because of like modern medicine and all this kind of stuff, we as humans live longer. Mm-hmm. So 40 doesn't even really like mean anything because
the human joints.
Because the human lifespan is just longer now. So, you know, back in the day, 40 would be considered like truly middle age, if not advanced.
I was about to say there was a time where 30 was the average lifespan. I mean, it also included childbirth, baby.
Yes, we know what you mean.
Infant
but, however, I was going to say, the way to balance that out as the universe does is the fact that people are both looking, acting, and doing things at a younger age that are like, oh god, now I feel old. Like, everything balances out of like, what is considered old by the young people keeps getting younger. I'm considered old by a lot of Gen Z people.
Yeah.
They think things over 25 are old people.
Funny, I think everybody under 25 is a child.
It's just kind of like, yay, I'm not a child, yay. But like, fucking, it was just one of those things, because I was like, you know, I go to conventions and stuff. I went to MomoCon, and you know, we at TA Games has quite a few fans that are under 25, you know, babies, and like, you know, they were like, "Ah, man, you know, I remember you back when you were doing pony stuff, and I was just a kid. Now you're old." I'm the youngest member of DA. What the fuck are you talking about that I'm old? And they're like, well, aren't you like 27? I'm like, yeah. They're like, come on, dude, that's old. Like, you'd be well out of college and you haven't been to high school in like over a decade. You're old, man. I'm like, is that the rules now? How about Will and Chris? They're in their 30s. Oh, they're like, we call them grandpa. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, yeah, I have been called grandpa in my own Discord server. I mean, I have a Discord server. I'm hip with the kids, right, Deb?
I thought you were 26. The funny thing, Magical, is that people do this thing called aging. It was just one of those things where I've never had me being called old genuinely to my face. And it was also the first time that I heard like young Gen Z and Gen Alpha slang in the wild. And I had that moment where I was like, what the fuck are they saying? And I was like, oh no, I don't understand the slang. Cause you know, I was at like a party with a bunch of the younger like nerdcore artists and stuff, and I was like, look, man, hey, so I keep hearing like, I'm pulling terms out of a hat right now, like phantom tax and all this stuff. What does that mean? I know what Riz means, and they're like, "Oh, Chrissy, you sound so old. Why do you not know who this? Do you not know who this streamer who originates it is from?" And I'm like, "Who?" And they're like, oh, but this dude is like so big. Look at him. And I'm like, I don't know who this person is. When did they get started? I was like, oh, like 2019, 2020. And I'm like, I just feel so fucking old.
They
I had
still
to
let
I had
people-
to ask what slang meant, and also they called me old because I called it slang, and I'm like, but that's what it is. I don't.
So yeah, I see you start to finally relate.
My point being is that I have learned that age means fucking nothing, because there's always going to be a sliding scale of what's considered old and young. So, like, I am just except for the obvious objectives of, what is obviously a fucking child, and all that, and who's, like, dead. Like, but between those parameters, it's like there is a sliding scale of what is socially called old and young. And you know what? That makes me feel a lot better, because, like, being older isn't a bad thing. And I feel like we need to stop feeling like it's a bad thing, because you know what? We fucking survived on this earth for a while, and that's an achievement, because that's hard to fucking do. We're in like a live action Truman Show Squid Game half the time. So I count a birthday as a fucking Survivor celebration. I won this season of Survivor, Chrissy edition. So, it was just an interesting thing of when I'm actually around people who are not around my age range. And I'm like, oh god, I feel like it's Muppet Babies and I'm the fucking nanny. Like, just like, who are these unattended children? But anyways, media. Did you watch any things?
Oh, I watched things, no? Let's start off on this bad boy, which was just
I'm
yesterday.
editing Saber's video for this thing.
No, Inside Out 2, where I'm glad to see that it had a full cinema, unless something else that I brought today. No, it's like for those people who have not seen Inside Out 1, please leave this
What
call
rock
right
have you
now.
been?
We can
What
no longer
rock
be
have you been
friends.
living under?
Yeah, we
like
not even in a parasocial relationship. It's like no,
just leave.
Yeah, it's like you are on the wrong podcast. I'm sorry to tell you.
You are uninvited to our birthday parties.
Yeah,
like
basically,
get out.
It's no. I would say Inside Out is up there. I haven't really. Have you ever ranked Pixar movies, as in like efficiently ranked? But I would say it's up there. It's in the good ones.
I don't think we did an official like tier ranking like properly, but it's up there. It's a good movie.
Inside Out 1 is definitely one that has all the creative juices. It has depth, it has humor, it has a gripping story. It got 2 tiers out of 1 Ayn Wye, so all the good stuff. And then there is Inside Out 2, which is like, it comes out at a time where people are burning out on Pixar sequels. So I went in with the like, please be good, please be good, please be good anyways, please be good anyways. Come on, buddy, please. Just because you are a sequel does not mean you need to be not up to par.
There was a time where Pixar sequels were expected to be good.
I know, exactly. And I mean, they were for a long time. Like, the Toy Stories held up pretty well. I mean, I know that the people split a little bit on number 4, but
I like
number
Story
4 too. It had.
I went back on it. Hot take. Point your knives at me. I like Toy Story 4 as an ending.
Exactly.
More than Toy Story 3.
Yeah, but 2 is the one where he hands over the box at the end, right?
No, 3 is
the
when
one where he hands over the box.
3 is when Andy goes to college and he plays with Bonnie, and then Woody looks to the camera while also looking at the audience, because that's how it works, and says, "So long, partner," and then people cried.
But yeah, okay, so this was the one where he hands over the box, which was like, okay, that feels like an ending. But then they had number 4, which was an entire, the entire theme was moving on and ending, where I was like, yeah, that is actually, and they tackled some interesting themes, and I liked a lot of the ideas, and I was like, yeah, 4 was good. Can they pull off this another time with 5, where it will be like, oh, you know what, I thought 4 was the ending, but 5 makes it an even more satisfying ending. I have my doubts. I don't think they can do another movie that is an ending or a fresh start or whatever in between that is still holding up.
It's just kind of like, look, at that point, just make a TV show. Because obviously the idea will probably have a focus on Woody and Bo and the little stuffed animals from the carnival traveling to help toys. Make that a show. You know what? Like, I would be fine if that was like a little mini TV series, like the Olaf shorts or whatever. Like that sounds cute. It's like how Raya should have been a show instead of a movie. I don't need a 120-minute plot. How are you going to pull it out of your ass that Buzz meets Woody again is the question. Like, are they going? Is it going to be Bonnie goes to college too? Like, how much of a time skip are we looking into the future here?
But as we were saying about Inside Out 2.
Yes, Inside Out 2. The point being is like, but I guess that was the thing of like, when did Pixar sequels become like something to not trust? Because that was the thing we were leading into.
Yeah, exactly. There was Cars 2, which kind of for the longest time was the one who like the one
that was like the
odd
sore
one
spot.
Out. The odd one out. The odd one out. But then Cars 3 came around, and I heard only good things about it. So no, there's this thing like, okay. Cars 2 was a slip up. Lightyear is not even. Lightyear is a spin-off. Lightyear is just.
I know, but it's also bad.
Just to be able to blame the mouse, I say Lightyear is a Disney product. Most of them are Pixar products. Lightyear is a Disney product.
Has enough years passed by that we could say that Incredibles 2 is not that great?
I guess so. I mean, this was one of them that burned a lot of people. I haven't rewatched it, so...
It's okay, but it's like, man, when you're comparing it to the monolith that was the first Incredibles, and especially the fucking downgrade of a villain. Evelyn is such a shitty fucking villain in Incredibles 2. But nothing can compare to Syndrome. Syndrome is just a god tier villain. Point being, it went to that.
Everybody go and watch a Thrillers Disney Pixar villain tier list. I link it down below.
But the point is, Pixar has not had a box office win in a while, and I've heard that like right now, a lot of people are going to go see seeing Inside Out 2. It's doing really well.
Which makes me feel torn, because on the one hand, I'm glad that it does, because I have actually not said a single thing about this movie so far.
I was trying to find a way to transition into Inside Out 2.
Thank you. But it holds up. That's the point. It's like... by the nature of it being a sequel, which is very explicitly building on the ideas and concept of the first movie, it doesn't have it isn't breaking any new ground, but it is what's the term? What does a farmer do with his fields? Working it, but they're working the ground. They're working the ground very competently. No, they're not breaking any new one, but
they're keeping the fields maintained.
Not just maintained. They grew very good fruit on it.
A good crop came in once again.
Yes, definitely.
Yeehaw!
So, it is a legit continuation, like a sequel should be. It is not just a rehash. I guess that is not even a spoiler. That is the event of the first 5 minutes of the movie. Puberty hits. That's a big thing. Riley hits puberty, and they do what they did in the first movie, that no, they show certain outside events combined, no, how what happens on the inside and the other way around. So it's like the inside comes out and vice versa. Oh my god! I just got the title of the movie. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
It was just a dumb joke.
But yeah, so they tackle the topic of hitting puberty with a similar care that they did in the first movie. But yeah, it's like, it's more of the same. The quality stays up there, but you don't have any. Again, it's a sequel. It's the same stuff. It's a continuation of the story, but as such, good. Go watch it. It's good. It has some impactful moment. It's like it has some of those. This is getting too real moments. Oh my god, it's my puberty. Oh my god, this movie gets me, but in a scary, stalkery way kind of moments. It again has creative uses of what happens on the inside while you are going through certain phases. The one thing though is, I have to say, is it just Riley, or are the kids really not okay?
None of them are. Like,
I mean,
can you turn on the spoiler warning very briefly?
Yes,
this is a thing that happens in the. This is a thing established.
About the same thing. Wanting to talk about it. Wait! Okay. I still haven't found it yet. Okay, people have a chance now.
Okay, there's multiple things. These kids are not okay, and I feel seen, but not in a good way. Did they imply, or even just show that Joy basically invented repression for Riley? Because at the beginning of the movie, it basically was like, oh, and by the way, I could take all bad memories for Riley and just throw it away.
It's like, put it in the back of my mind, where they don't even get processed. That is a funny thing. If you think about it, memories that fade, they go gray in the cupboards and then get put into the hole of forgetting or whatever. No, the shit she puts at the back of the mind is really old stuff. It doesn't get processed. It doesn't fade. It just stays there. And if something traumatizing, like an anxiety attack happens, guess what happens?
Joy, what the fuck, man? Did you not learn the importance of of these kinds of experience? It's especially weird when one of the biggest things they establish is the new way memories are processed to make the sense of self, which I think is a cool concept, and overall, cool looking and well handled. But not to say bad experiences build character, but I feel like fear of all characters would have been like, we should remember, and anxiety itself.
Oh, but also, there was a phenomenal moment in the cinema. I mean, maybe it was a daytime screening, so it was obviously a lot of family with kids. And then when we hear Riley's inner idea of self, I am a good person, I just hear a child's voice behind me. That's so egocentric or egotistical or something like, oh my god, that's actually very on the point. Yeah. Riley's original sense of self was very, very idealized. Like, I'm a great person. Like, I mean, she's a child. She's a child, so
she's a child who helped pick up people's pennies once, and now you think you're a good person.
Yeah.
Also, I know that the kid you're probably describing is like, 12 or Riley's age or something. I like to imagine it's like a fucking 5-year-old who says she's so egocentric while eating Cheerios out of a Ziploc bag.
Or whatever. But
but you know what I mean. But like, also just to say, Riley's panic attack, I know it's a meme of animated films doing good panic attacks now, because everyone talked about the Last Wish one to ad nauseum.
Oh yeah, that was all good.
But this was a really good panic attack scene. As someone who has them, I really like the detail that she actually uses her senses to ground herself, because that is actually pro tip to all you panic attack and anxiety havers. a good way to help when you have a panic attack is to ground yourself. So things like familiar smells, touching like tables or floors, whatever you're sitting on, is a good way to actually ground yourself, and it helps you calm down because it's something that grounding and steadying yourself. It's an actual thing that therapists and stuff teach people when they have panic disorders of what to do, which, that's the thing I can respect about Pixar. When they want to, they do their homework, which I appreciate. Also, man, you could tell that this fucking movie was written and directed by girls because the female puberty. The fucking thing where she's like, I'm so disgusting. I hate myself and all that. I'm like, oh, you poor baby. I see you. And look, I'm just saying, I don't know if the boy experience of puberty is you become that self-aware of your outer self, of like smell and look and personal disgust, where you're like, gross, I'm so gross and all this.
Also, I think we're done spoilers.
Yeah, we're done with spoilers.
Okay.
Because the scene I'm talking about, I think, was literally in trailers. But like, it's like,
I
don't know. I'm so gross. Like, that is so one for one. Like, girl. The most unbelievable thing is the mom is actually being like, you're not gross, you're growing up. Like, there are so many moms who are like, yeah, you're gross. Go start wearing deodorant and shaving under your armpits. Mazel tov. But, like, it's a good movie. I think I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, solid. Absolutely solid.
I liked the character of anxiety more than I thought. I was very nervous about them making a character that's the personification of anxiety, because I was like, oh, you could fuck this up real badly.
But Pixar showing they are competent. They can. Don't let them write about prehistoric creatures, but...
Yeah, I wish they could. I did see one person on Twitter who said something that really made me laugh. Of like, what would have been a cooler way for anxiety to happen? If she came from fear, like it just spawned out of fear, because I guess that makes sense. And I'm like, they're like, okay, so I thought of 2 ways. One is that anxiety is like a tumor that pops out of the skin, and I'm like, I guess that makes sense because they're not like they don't have skin technically. Like their whole thing is that they're just a bunch of like really bound together particles. Like that is how they're animated. The other one was implying that fear would give birth to it, and I'm like, I don't want essentially mpreg in this Pixar movie. So I think I'm good. I will say, I think my one criticism is I feel like the only new emotions that really contributed was anxiety and like envy. Ennui and shyness were just kind of there.
I mean, that is kind of how ennui and shyness work in real life, don't they? They are not really the ones who take the stage. They don't really are, by definition, things that can take center stage.
I suppose. I just was kind of like,
I thought
I thought shyness or embarrassment. Thank you. I thought embarrassment would have a bit, call it stereotypical because this is a puberty-based story. I thought embarrassment would have more of a hand in with anxiety. Of like, especially a very extroverted person like Riley, when you're in this transitional phase in life, may become more insular. Like, I don't know. I thought there would have been more of that. Like, I feel like it would have been more representative that the new emotions were more reflective of the personality Riley was going to start to gain. Also, they didn't answer the fucking questions of where are these 4 new emotions in all the fucking adults? Like,
I mean, they kind of acknowledged it at the very end. But
still, I'm just kind of like, look, there's one thing that this is why I think the kids are not okay. This is what's going on in their brains. But I do get it straight, Denim. I do love ennui. I think the character design, the character is funny. I just think like the narrative functionality of them could have had more.
Yeah. Oh, we were actually on the way home from the cinema. Denim and I were talking about who is our leading emotion, and who sits on the board, and who is actually behind the curtain. Like, it's kind of implied the new emotions are for the adults.
Yes.
To give a little bit of an excuse, like, why didn't we see those new emotions in the adults in the first movie? Oh, they are there. They have been there the entire time, but they're kind of back there. So
that is a good question.
But yeah, I believe my thing was like, I was like, yeah, I believe in charge of me is disgust. I don't think fear. I believe fear lost their seat on my table. But I believe Ayn Wye is actually my second in command.
No, that makes sense. Those two seem like a good couple of emotions. And hey, at least with this new movie, fucking Mindy Kaling is not discussed, so you don't have Mindy Kaling running your fucking thing.
You don't have to be disgusted at disgust.
You don't have to be Velma.
Yeah.
I will say I do miss Bill Hader as Fear. But Bill Hader's also just like a delightful actor that I want to see in everything. I mean, Tony Hale is good. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I'm kind of like, man, Disney, you couldn't have paid them the amount that they asked for, because the whole thing was that they like Tony Hale and Mindy Kaling were going to be paid like $100,000 for Inside Out with no like extras stuff. Meanwhile, Amy Poehler, the voice of Joy, was going to be paid $5 million plus like royalties and special deals and stuff. And I'm like, okay, look, I'm more of a do it for the art person. But yeah, if I saw that price disparity between me and my co-star, I would probably be like, there's something fucky here. But yeah, Inside Out 2 is good.
Yeah. So
here's the thing: most Pixar films, besides Lightyear, have been good. It's just that people have been weirdly. I wish more people would talk about Luca and Turning Red and Elemental. Those are good movies. Everyone says Pixar's lost its spark, and I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? The only like pimple on it right now is Lightyear over the past like 4 years. Was Lightyear that bad that we're rewriting history? Well, look, it's a good thing that we had this movie to talk about, because I really did not watch a lot of new stuff this
Well, I have another one.
I mean, I have one thing to talk about.
Well, give it to me, baby.
So have you heard of a little show called Ruby?
I might have. I wonder how to spell Ruby is definitely spelled Ruby, right?
So, I finally sat down and watched Ruby.
All of it?
All of it.
Jesus fucking Christ, I didn't even make it through the first season when I gave it a try.
Well, because here's the thing. Is been on an H-Bomber guy kick, and the video that was next on my list from them after watching the Sherlock is disappointing and here's why video, which they are correct.
Oh yeah.
God, I went back to Sherlock. What happened? And I can't even say Moffat happened because he was just there the whole time. But like,
oh, if you put in H-Bomber guy, it actually autofills to H-Bomber guy Sherlock.
But, you know, he has the video on Ruby. And I have avoided Ruby because it feels like such a minefield to talk about Ruby because of the history. What?
I must have watched this. I have watched every H-Bomber guy video, even the old ones.
When he had hair on the top of his head. But no, like, I avoided Ruby because I felt like it's hard to talk about Ruby with the history behind it, with like it being a Rooster Teeth show and the creator being dead and all these types of things. And it's like, you know, I don't want to disrespect that kind of legacy. But I really wanted to watch the H-Bomber Guy video, so I watched the show. Because I also felt a bit easier watching it because I saw people who were friends with Monty talk about them not liking Ruby.
But just so you watch the entirety of Ruby, so you then can watch the H-Bomber Guy video.
Yes.
Okay, just double check.
Yes.
So, and you said you didn't watch anything recently. You watched all of Ruby recently.
Yeah. I guess I don't. I guess I should have said I didn't watch anything of good content.
Ouch.
Besides the H-Bomber Guy video. Here's the thing. I'm just sad that Ruby is as lackluster as it is. Because I like some of the concepts, and the fight scenes are cool. You know, the visuals can be really nice. I love the original trailers and all this stuff. And so the voice acting gets a lot better later on, as most Rooster Teeth things did. And the music is great. The music is the thing that I could say is like, oh, throughout the entire show is great. But like, what did this show want to be? I had to go through 2 fucking seasons until they even acknowledge of like, we haven't really done anything. And I'm like, yeah, no shit! You anger me! Cause all you do is do cool fight scenes and you're at a school and it's just like, what is the build-up here? What are we doing? And I don't think it even gets a real identity as it goes on, which is insane for a show that has crossed over with Justice League, that has crossed over with so many things, that has like an official manga, like has an official anime, like an anime, not a Rooster Teeth MMD looking. Why is Camp here? MMD looking fucking anime. Like I just. The animation gets better, but not really. Here's the thing. The animation gets better when Monty was around, and then once Monty passed away, it somehow I stayed in the same place, and in some places got worse because I don't think they understood they didn't have the artistic vision and the knack for choreography that Monty had. Which is understandable. Monty was really good at fight choreography. He got hired to do fight scenes for Red versus Blue. And it's like... Also, the fucking yellow character is my least favorite, and that makes me mad, because I think her weapon is one of the cool... Yeah, that one, the blonde one. She's so annoying through so much of the show, because you could tell it's a bunch of like 30-year-old men trying to write like a 20-something sarcastic girl, and it's annoying. It's like, oh, this is it reeks sometimes of this is what guys think the girl they want is, and I'm like, and it was like they wanted to make their own version of like Tifa, which I think H-Bomber Guy says in the video, but it's true. And it sucks, because her weapon is so... I will give it the plus. These weapons are so fucking stupid. I adore them. They're swords and scythes that are also guns, and their sheaths are also guns. But the blonde one, her weapon is that she spawns... Her gauntlets turn into gloves that have guns in them. So she can punch you and then shoot a fucking bullet. Yeah, she softens up, but you know, I don't. She was like if you took every quip from a Marvel character and made it into a person, and I'm like, oh god, they're exhausting. You are That's the thing. Ruby is exhausting. I'd rather watch Sword Art Online again than watch Ruby.
That is, but yeah, exhausting. As few episodes as I watched, I can't relate.
She's the best character. She's the best character. Her voice, in the beginning of the series, I could deal with, but she is super fucking cool. I like her.
I mean, she's using a scythe as a weapon. I mean, that automatically makes her 20% cooler.
Her and the white one. The one that has the more magic-based attacks.
You mean the one who's called White?
Yes. Look, here's the thing. They're also not fucking consistent on the color coding names, because the black one is named Blake. And like... and the yellow one's not named Yellow, which is stupid.
But right here, red, white, black, yellow.
It also doesn't help that they are also apparently based off fairy tale characters like Brothers Grimm's.
Oh,
like,
okay.
One is Alice in Wonderland, then you got fucking Red
Riding Hood, obviously, yeah.
And like the Snow Queen. I forgot what Blake is, but it's stupid.
Puss in Boots, potentially, maybe?
Maybe, I don't like.
Or
also, the fact she's a cat, the fact she's like a cat girl Neko thing. Whatever, you like anime, I get it. What I hate is that when they want to do good cinematography, they can do it, but they lose this skill later on in the show because, like, the early stuff has its flaws. I mean, it was like a 3D animated show trying to emulate anime in 2012. But like it knew how to compose a shot and do limited color palettes. Like it was smart.
Trailer.
Yes, like the trailer. Like it knew how to make scenes pop, all that. And then they just kind of stopped with that. Again, a lot after Monty passed away. So it's like, and then it just started to look like anime, but with these models are not good. And it becomes less excusable when it became a full-on production and not just a small team of people. These look like MMD models, and their fabric glitches like MMD models. And it's just like, I don't watch Ruby. Watch Red vs. Blue if you want good Rooster Teeth content, or watch Death Battle, or even Camp, except for like the last season when they replaced all the actors. Like, Monty was a smart person and a great animator, but I feel like Ruby is a show that reeks of ambition and wants. But I don't think they you can tell the influence here. Okay, I got it. You can tell the influences of Ruby. You can tell why they are doing like, what are they deriving from? However, when you are influenced by something, it is very good to study the thing you're influenced to know why did that thing work for the thing you're influenced by. Because if you are just doing this thing for the sake of it existed in this previous thing, you don't understand why it worked.
Sorry, Wolf's comment.
What did Wolf say? Oh, go off, Queen. We love unhinged rants. No, I have a hinge on this rant. I think I have a point. I think, like, there are so many times, and you can see it with a lot of long-running program shows and franchises, where because it came to that like time is a flat circle point where you are influenced by just the previous versions of the things, you don't understand what influenced that. Like, let's take the Cowboy Bebop movie that starts with just them shopping and all this kind of stuff. Like, and how that worked narratively and establishing the characters and atmosphere. But if you just had characters fucking shopping at the beginning of your thing to reference that, you're not invoking but you're not trying to invoke the same feelings and atmosphere and narrative purpose. Then that's when then you just get to the purest point of derivative. That's the thing. Ruby feels derivative, and not in a good way. It doesn't feel like OKKO, where this is like made by people who like really know about like old school anime and cartoons and all this stuff, and it's just their conglomeration of the things they like, but they understand what the things they like. This is just, hey, this scene in Kill la Kill looked really neat, I'm gonna do that. That's just how it feels. Oh, I like Tifa, so I'm gonna make blonde Tifa. Like, but you don't understand, why is Tifa such a likable character? And no, it's not her boobs. Like, it's just, that is
I have a
that is my
conglomerate
problem.
of 13-year-old boys in the next room who all disagree with this statement.
But yeah, don't waste your time with Ruby. Like, it's go honestly, the H Bomber guy thing, after watching it, I could have just not watched Ruby.
That's what I did.
I wanted to truly, I don't want to be an echo chamber and be like, oh, this video essay person said these opinions and I'm just going to take their word for it. I wanted to try, because maybe I would like it. I like a lot of things that people don't usually like. No, I'm on the same page with H Bomber guy. I forgot his real name, but Mr. Bomb Man. I just, but yeah. So that was my media consumption. Please tell me that the other thing you watched this week was actually fun.
Define
or good.
fun.
Or
good, yes.
good.
Good. I guess I can work with. So, I mean, it was more like last week or something like it. But since we haven't
the
had
new
one,
Mad Max movie that no one went to see.
I know. That is the thing when I mentioned earlier, like, hey, it was nice to see how full the cinema was for Inside Out 2. It was so empty. It was like, I mean, it was sad because the movie is good.
Yay, animation gets more love than live action. Screw real life.
I mean,
I want people to see
real. I
want people to see Mad Max. I say this with a hint of joking.
Yeah, but yeah, no. People who didn't catch on to the fact, it's a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road. But yeah, that's. I'm not sure if this just was. Human nature or something, that because it didn't have Mad Max on the name, people didn't give it the attention that it deserved. Because
people can't read.
Yeah, I know, because the entire thing about Mad Max Fury Road is that it already was Furiosa movie. And everybody loved that one. So, but yeah, with this one, it's telling the story of Furiosa. From her childhood onwards to basically the start of Fury Road. So I mean, for the people who have watched Fury Road, we learn that she comes from this mysterious place of abundance, but for some reason hasn't returned there until Fury Road. And this movie is telling kind of a backstory. What happened? What got her to the point where she is at the beginning of Fury Road? And it is overall. I would say the action is it goes less for the bombastic action on the same quantity. So it's it has more character moments. It's I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Fury Road was basically 70% a car chase, right?
Yes.
They got into the Warwick very early on, and they started driving, and the first pursuers were there right from the get-go, and then it got bigger and bigger and everything, while Furiosa is a little bit more focused on people, and it also takes place over an entire life. It tells the life story of Furiosa, and therefore there is not there are chases, there are action scenes, there are pretty bombastic action scenes, and if the majority of them are I don't know, we wanted to check this, if they did as many actual stunts instead of CGI as they did with the Fury Road, because that was a big thing in Fury Road, that a lot of that stuff with all the cars and whatnot happened really. They really did all of that. Like surprisingly little CG. And if they did the same thing here, then kudos, because some of those action scenes were like impressive.
Let's see. They did a lot of stunts.
Mm-hmm. I believe
they did try to be safer than Fury Road, because a lot of people got injured making Fury Road.
Okay, injured is fine, I guess.
I mean, also, like, some things had to be changed around because I guess Chris Hemsworth or whatever had a back injury at the beginning of production.
Oh,
and so
no!
It was like, man, what a terrible film to have a back injury you got to nurse to. It's like, okay, Chris, so put on your seatbelt. We're gonna drive you over a cliff.
Maybe he was more involved in the beginning, but now in the movie he's more of a commander, like a field commander.
Yeah.
Maybe in the beginning he was more wild, crazy stuff before. I mean, maybe you saw it in the trailer earlier that he's through the majority of the movie he is riding a chariot pulled by 3 motorcycles, and it's like, I have no fucking clue how this even is supposed to make the slightest bit of sense of controlling.
It doesn't. No, you don't think about it. It's cool.
But that's the thing. That's exactly the thing. I sat in the cinema and I was like, I have no fucking clue how this is even supposed to work with, like, what do you call the things with which you control horses on a carriage?
Oh, reins?
Reins, exactly. How in any world, let alone technologically devolved post-apocalypse, how you can do this. But it was so cool. I just enjoyed whenever they brought that fucking chariot back, and someone
also
was riding this chariot.
Wolfhead's comment being like, it makes as much sense as the guitar guy playing from the first movie. It makes my bones wrinkle that you say that Fury Road is the first movie. That is not the first Mad Max movie at all. It's like the 6th. Like, I just
which actually also reminded me that I actually have only, at least consciously, seen Fury Road and Furiosa. I believe
You've never seen the Thunderdome?
I have clicked into them when they were on TV back then, but at some point I was too young to appreciate them, and then I stopped watching TV. So yeah, I already basically have a Mad Max marathon planned to fill those gaps. To add even another layer of appreciation for the modern day Mad Max movies.
But yes, I looked it up. So, in addition to traditional CGI work such as augmenting backdrops and stitching together the work of multiple stuntmen, Jackson used VFX to heighten certain action scenes, such as the stowaway action scene, where the VFX animated the Octobos's scene, where a CGI version of Furiosa, otherwise Practical's car, was used to animate things that are just far too dangerous to be doing with a real car, like side-swiping motorbikes. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I at the end of the day, no one should break their back for the sake of a movie. Stunt people of the world, you matter, and your life is worth more than a cool shot in an action movie. Yeah. You'd get a hell of a dedication credit, but that
reminds me of Fall Guy, another movie where the cinema was disturbingly empty.
There seems to just be like a weird people are just not going to see action movies. I realize,
unless it's Marvel.
Even then, the Marvel movies aren't doing that well box office wise. Like, it's the thing of like just
oversaturation.
I don't even know if it's that. It's a thing of all the I understand to an extent, like with like family movies, right? Why they do much better on streaming, because it costs a lot to go to a movie with a family, and
but Inside Out was packed.
I mean, also
I don't
it's the summer, people going to an air conditioned place, that kind of thing makes sense. But to an extent, I understand why certain film genres like family movies do
Yes.
better on streaming.
Yes.
I don't get that with action movies because
Exactly.
to me the best way to watch an action movie is on big screen with big
Yeah.
speakers with big bucket of popcorn and big drink.
The one
Like,
genre, of movie that is made for cinema and that you cannot, no matter how much you invest in your home cinema, replicate at home is an action movie. Maybe a
there's
comedy because laughing together.
I think there's two.
Oh.
There action
Uh-huh.
and sci-fi. Sci-fi is so atmospheric half the time. Like, especially I remember going to see Gravity and The Martian both in theaters, and then I watched them on TV. And I had a really good home theater system back in the day. Could not even compare. Like, watching Gravity is also not that good of a movie, but man, watching it in the theater is a fucking experience. Like, you understand why it won all the technical awards that it did. Same with fucking the original Avatar. I saw the original Avatar in theaters. I don't know any character's name besides Jake Sully. However,
And you
I
only
won't
know
lie,
that because of Jack's films.
of course I do. But it is going to see it in the theater. Like, that is an experienced movie. And from what I heard from the NPCs in the world, Shape of Water was the same way, where it was an thing, but the atmosphere of it is very needed. So I think sci-fi, action, and in some cases horror movies, if the horror movie is very based on good sound mixing, should be seen in a theater.
It also comes with the thing, in the theater you are in your seat, you are focused, it
It's
adds
pitch
a
black
level
except
of
for the movie.
immersion that at home you have to pee, you pause the thing, and you get to the bathroom, you get a bowl of chips, you get another drink, somebody calls you, you pick up the phone.
Honestly, though, maybe it's better that the movie theater was empty for you guys, because let me just say, people have lost their fucking decorum at movie theaters. If the pandemic destroyed anything, it's people going to public things that you pay for and not knowing the set of manners you're supposed to have. I went to go see fucking the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire in theaters, right? For people who asked, you may have, but I went to go see it in theaters, and my god, so many people were just talking through the fucking movie, and I'm like, if you're gonna talk through it, wait till it goes on streaming. Go home. And and this was the same thing when I went to go see a Broadway production in California of Moulin Rouge. There were people talking through the production. I'm like, these tickets are not cheap. Why are you acting like a fucking Neanderthal? It's just, did we forget how to act? This is not your living room. If you're going to act like this, stay in your fucking living room. If you can't hold your attention to something for 1 hour without having your phone in your hand, then you shouldn't be at a movie theater.
Hard but fair. But yeah.
Look, I've seen too many people text at movie theaters, and I'm like, you paid $30.
I was about to say, so much for what I just pointed out about the movie theater being the more immersive place where you do not go for all those distractions. But yeah, to bring it back and wrap it up for Furiosa, maybe one thing that I should add, it's not a fun movie. I mean, it's the story is not fun. This is a pretty messed up story. Probably, again, more depressing of a story than Furiosa, because it has more focus on characters and less on action. So the proportion of, well, fuck kind of moments is more there. But it's still a very good movie. And it still wraps it up that you have enough of a catharsis at the end of it, so that you don't come out and be all like, oh my god. They wrap the story of the movie Furiosa up enough so that it can stand on itself and is not just padding for the Fury Road movie. I guess this is something where that you should add about sequels, prequels, because prequels, often enough, a prequel has an uphill battle because it needs to be interesting in its own right, even so we know how it ends. And I would say Furiosa does this. I mean, yeah, I know where it ends, but her journey is still interesting enough to justify the existence of its own movie. And again, it is visual wise, effect wise, on the same level as Fury Road, just with a slightly different focus. And long story short, if it's still running in your cinema, go watch it. It needs your butts in the seats more than Inside Out. Inside Out will be on Disney Plus next week anyways. I don't know if it's really next week, but Disney has not a good track record in giving movies time to breathe in cinema. So, yeah. I guess this is for media today, unless you have anything else.
No.
Okay. No. Fan art. Oh, that is also media. I mean, kind of.
Yeah, you. So, how is your Smiling Friends journey going,
How is my
Max?
Smiling Friends journey? So, the artist behind this lovely piece of fan art, Noisy Paper Dragon, they told me. So they made this a while ago, and it's like, whoa, I really like it, and I recognize it as Smiling Friends, but I have to admit that I haven't really watched it. And Noisy, and if you go to Noisy's Twitter, link down below, Noisy is a Smiling Friends fan, which a lot of people are. Hashtag not judging. I'm not sure why there was a hashtag necessary.
I mean, like, are you that, like, your base emotion is judgment? So
I'm in charge. We talked about this.
That should have been an emotion in the movie, is judgment.
But Noisy posted, and I'm like, hey, I really like it. This is super funny, but I don't really get it because I haven't watched it. So that already broke Noisy's heart back then. And then I believe it was it on Awkward? I must have been, because Noisy,
it was on Awkward. You said you watched the pilot and
the first
Mr.
two
Frog,
episodes,
and you were like, we haven't really watched anymore. I don't get it.
Yeah, exactly. So Noisy went ahead and basically pinged me in a private server on Discord and was like, I have 3 idiots fan art, but you don't get it. Nobody gets to see it unless you watch at least 3 episodes of Smiling Friends. And I'm like, that's how you get me. You create a fan art and then hold it hostage without even showing it to me. That's my one weakness. It has finally been revealed.
You see the icon of the file in the folder, and
a gun,
Noisy's holding a gun, being like, "Come on, man, just watch another episode. Come on."
So I watched more. I made it all the way, including the Frowning Friends episode, which is, I believe, 7th or 8th in the season, something like it.
I think you're like 1 away from the last episode of the season.
Might be 2 more or something in the first season. But yeah, I watched it. I had a chuckle or 2, but for the majority of it, it's still like, it's not my brand. But
you gotta.
I don't get the appeal. I'm like, okay, I watch it. Oh yeah, there was one light chuckle in there. Okay.
It's fascinating of how universally loved this show is, and then there's you.
And then there's old man Ayn Wye who just.
I don't even think it's old man, because like a lot of the people who work and write on this show are people that are within like your age range. These are like OG internet, like, and pre-internet people. So it's like, I don't, because Psychic Pebbles is not a young person. He's in his 30s. So like, it's just one of those things where I'm like, wow, you are just such an outlier. You're built different.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I also watched my Salad Fingers back in the day, but beyond that, I outgrew a lot of this Newgrounds humor very quickly. I don't think anything beyond Salad Fingers ever caught on with me, and it never resonated with me. And well, the people who produced those original animations. Of course, they have a different relationship with it, so that they still do this at my age is like, yeah, makes sense. And the people who enjoyed it back then can probably still enjoy a similar thing down the line.
So what we need to do is just show you the clips that people use as memes so you at least understand what people are talking about, and then you don't have to watch the show ever again. We show you the Doug Walker cameo in season 2.
Oh, that is a transition. Was this intentional?
No.
Okay, because it is a transition to questions. Also, yeah, thanks, Noisy, for the art. I don't get it, but I like it.
And now you have to... Now you have to give us the Three Idiots art.
Exactly. But yeah, questions, Twitter. I got as many questions on Twitter as there are in Discord, at least when I checked earlier. But yeah,
wow, this was a bad day for us to be talking about media for a long time.
I guess so. But yeah, Waddles asked, have you seen the Doug Walker or the other internet familiar faces made a cameo on Smiling Friends? If so, you yes, me no. I mean, that was kind of the lead in to the question. What YouTuber would you like to see in the show?
Okay, I guess for you the question is, what YouTuber has to cameo for you to actually watch the episode that they're in? Because it's an episodic show. You can just go and watch any episode. Like, I mean, man, the Doug Walker one was really fucking good because he just dressed... He was like, hello, I'm Desmond the Demon Slayer. I slay demons so you don't have to. And, like, the best part about the joke is that you could see it's an 8-minute video, and then he's like, but first, a message from Dollar Shave Club. They skipped the thing, and it's like the last 30 seconds of the video, so it was like an 8-minute Dollar Shave Club sponsorship. Oh, God. Oh, but I don't know. Smiling Friends really has, like, a lot of the OG people I want. They have Harry Partridge, they got David Firth, they got, you know, Joel Haver, they got Doug. I mean, it would be funny to see Linkara on there, but Linkara does not have a good relationship with those people who make Smiling Friends. Because...
Then, oh, yeah?
Because they mentioned the Lightbringer one too many times. But, man, I would love to see what a top the fourth wall could be in the Smiling Friends universe. But if we're talking specifically YouTubers, that's also the big thing.
What YouTubers do I even watch? Oh, I had another thing prepared media-wise.
Tomska! I want Tomska in there.
That could work, yeah. I could see Tomska.
Just put one of the Astif characters in there. You could probably make an argument that it's a critter. Like, I think it could work.
Jack's film, I mean, he basically is. They don't even need to do anything. They just make him a cutout of himself, and everybody who doesn't know him already will be like, that forehead is too big. That must be one of their creatures.
Yeah. Oh, I like that one. They should get Solid JJ to just be a voice in it. Like, the one who does all the Justice League PowerPoint videos that I showed you.
You did last time, didn't you?
Yes, I would love
media last week. Go back, watch old episodes. We are not
last
on this.
Week.
Yeah,
last
time, whatever. Go, we watch every episode this season twice because we are off so often.
I mean, like, I guess besides that, you know, Michael Cusack, who's the voice of Pym, was in Hell of a Boss because he's Mammon. Get Brandon Rogers on there. Let's do a nice little trade. Get Blitzo on an episode. I think that'd be fun.
Okay,
but what about you?
Me? I was thinking. I mean, I already threw out Jack's film. Trying to be like, what other YouTubers do I watch that would make good additions to it? Let me actually. Oh no, the H Bomber Guy video is still playing in the background. Do I see H Bomber in it?
I want Krendor, but not Jesse. I think it would be funnier if just normal I go to IKEA Krendor was the only cameo in there.
I mean, it would be like looking through my subscription list. Like, it needs to be somebody who fits it. I mean, I don't know, the boys from Trash Taste?
Ooh, that one could be fun. Oh,
and they all look like anime, like 90s anime style.
I think that would be good. That would be good.
Okay, there's my answer. Whew!
All right.
Next one.
Let's see.
Discord.
Next question we have. Let's see. From Is This the Face of Mercy says, Ask Awkward, your life now has background music, but it's all late 90s and early aughts alt music. Pick the track list for your co-host. Oof. Okay, I'm going to take the alt out of it because so the only thing is that it's 90s and aughts, like 2000s music, and I have to make a background soundtrack for you.
This sounds like a very fun thing, but it is not a thing like an entire soundtrack. Dude, we're already over time. I guess a theme song.
Let's do 3 songs. 3 songs. Like morning, noon, and night.
If I wouldn't know 3 songs specifically from that era by name and be able to pin to you. But...
I have good ones for you.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, start your day out with "Come On Eileen," the ska version.
Ooh, oh. I mean, I'm not sure if it really fits me, but I like it.
Well, no, that's your starting, like, that, if your life was a movie trailer, it's like, and this is my life, directed by James Gunn,
I would watch this movie.
But, like, and then I think your, like, throughout the day song, that is Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger from Daft Punk. Mm-hmm. So your workday song. And then your nighttime song, because it's like, okay, you're finally off, and it's one of 2 things. It's either a more relaxing tune, which all the songs I listened to in the 90s and 2000s are way too high energy for that. So pure silence. or it's like, okay, time to do game night or something fun. I don't remember the name of the song, but this song haunts me because we talked about it during Spirit Fair. It's like something the fish. It's like this happy house thing.
Oh, how much is the fish? that is how much is the fish from Scooter?
That is Max has insomnia and doesn't want to accept its song. That is a song that you're staring up at the ceiling and that's playing in your head.
Okay, Jesus, you produced a really. Have you thought about this before? Because this came very rapid fire.
It's just I know you really well, and I feel like we've had this conversation.
And you are closer with music, so oh boy.
I will make it easier for you. Movie trailer about my life. What is the movie trailer song? What is the one song that is playing in the trailer?
I
am giving you the freedom that you only have to pick one song, and it has to be a 90s or aughts song.
Yeah,
I feel like you and I have back in that day a little bit of similar taste. We both like ska. We both like punk. We both like punk pop. Like
it's still like my first idea that popped to mind. You are standing at a convention. Or sitting at the booth at a convention, you are moving in slow speed, and you see the time skip for everybody around you. The camera zooms
like that one
in.
student film you were in.
And no, you know the thing. You have seen it before. That the one person
where you're standing, but
everything
else is like fast.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. Yeah. All around me are familiar faces.
Wow.
I mean, at a con and everything.
Okay, yes, at a con, I suppose.
Exactly. This was just the first image. So we have one song. This is the con, Chrissy.
Yes.
Where you are the what else here? Then Chrissy at home doing art. I see some not high energy but powerful song. Something slower with a slow steady beat, like but with energy, like with whatever the musical equivalent of enthusiasm is. What kind of songs do we have of this in the 90s?
There has to be something by like Green Day or Fall Out Boy or something.
Something down those lines.
They both feel like bands that would have that type of thing. Like Uh,
I mean, it's not what I had in mind originally, but if we say Green Day, something like American Idiot, but that is more like peppy again. I was more like something like rock, maybe even a little bit. Like, do we have some
I mean,
90s
rock would also be good. I think I know that in the soundtrack of my life, gives you hell by All American Rejects has to be somewhere in there. Like that, when you see my face, hope it gives you hell, hope it gives you like I have
that could be the art song, maybe like when
that
you're
one.
really in the
Yes,
zone
yes.
and getting the stuff out.
I feel like also in my soundtrack there would be like some No Doubt, maybe some early Pink, like So What kind of era.
Trouble now. If
Yeah,
it counts as
basically.
early drink, yeah.
God.
That would also work for you. No, this is not you at convention. That is you at work in a fictional DA game studio office where it's not virtual, but you're actually in a place, and then you come in. I'm trouble.
I mean, I know the song that that is the background soundtrack for this podcast. I Know You Too Well by Real Big Fish. You know, I know you too well to like you anymore. I mean, my whole life could be a Real Big Fish album, and I would not complain.
Okay.
But yes, Twitter.
Yes. Twitter.
Good question. Good question, Odie. You made us think too much, though.
Okay, here's a curious one by MutePony66, who also I believe I saw in the chat earlier. Not sure if they're still around.
I think they were the one who said English too.
But yeah, what's your favorite cryptid and why?
Oh, I saw this question. Yeah. Ooh.
It's a good question. The thing is, I wish I would be more familiar with cryptids.
Here's my thing. I love cryptids for the sake of the crazy people that think they see them. That's why I fucking love the Loch Ness Monster. Because every person who claims that they've seen them are just drunk Scottish people walking home and think they see something in the lake. And it makes me laugh. And then like the the quote unquote Nessie picture that everyone uses, I think has been proven that is either an elephant's trunk from a circus that was in town or an elephant's penis from the circus that was in town. And I'm like, both of these. I'm like, I don't like either of these options. And so, I just love the people who think that a fucking plesiosaur or something can live in a loch like that. Cold, mossy, gross, and people still believe. And you know what? That if people ever ask, why do people have faith-based systems? Point to the people who still believe the Loch Ness Monster exists. Or Bigfoot. Yeah. I guess Loch Ness Monster for mine. They bring the most entertaining people.
I guess mine could be Bigfoot, but specifically the one from Lost Link, Missing Link.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But then again, this doesn't make sense because it's no longer a cryptid because he's really there. Technically not a cryptid anymore because in this movie he's real.
I mean, that's kind of the catch-22 with cryptozoology, isn't it? Is that it's like the innocent proven guilty route. It is the fake until proven real kind of thing.
I guess I want to go with the one they made up for the Max the Gentleman, Sexy Business. Mm-hmm. So simply that all of you to know what I'm talking about have to get this game and play it because it's fun.
It's a very fun game.
And back to I asked this question. So back to Discord.
You didn't even say the name of the cryptid.
I don't know the name.
You play the game.
Yeah, but it's Platypus
thingy
something.
Let's see.
Oh, no, here's one. New York sewer sharks.
The gators exist, not the sharks. I just saw the thing that was right under Odie's question about the soundtracks is and you can't fool me, Max, you wore an overcoat, you listen to the songs. I'm like, Huh. I don't know if that's the indicator, man.
I mean,
Uh,
he isn't wrong.
he isn't wrong, but I don't think that's the pure indicator. Let's see. Here's a nice one from Shut Up, We Open at 3. I think this one's a wholesome one. This is a chill podcast episode, so let's reminisce. What's a favorite memory you guys have of each other? We've been arguing so much during this podcast. Time to actually be nice.
Dun dun dun.
I have a lot of favorite memories, so it's more like just picking one.
So if we are already agreeing that it's it to be a nice and wholesome one, so I guess a favorite memory should not be the Coke incident, as in Coca-Cola. I should specify.
No, I mean that one's a funny.
That one's a funny, but favorite.
It was funny. But that's mostly funny to me because, man, I wish there was a camera, because hearing your laugh emanate through the house, through the iPad, of just you like bursting out laughing while I'm vomiting everywhere. I mean, I guess I can be fair of if it's nice and wholesome. I can't mention the fucking calendar gift memory too.
We are going for the asshole memories. Thank you. I guess I stick with the cola one.
No. I said I can't go with that one if we're going with a nice one. I also can't go with your dab food that gave me a bloody nose on stream. Okay, but nice memory. Let's see.
There must be some that are not part of a anecdote, right?
You know what? No, I have a good one. This is not my absolute favorite memory, but me and Max have known each other for 10 years. There is no absolute favorite memory at this point. When you get to that level of longevity, everything is good or bad. There's no favorite. I have no favorites. But there's a one that I like to look back on that I think was really, really... Oh no, now I'm thinking of two. Well, okay, the quick funny one that's second place is we were in New York and we were walking to Central Park. And I remember just this exchange that I found really funny, which was, I think we were walking and I was like, I have a theory that most New Yorkers are on the spectrum. And I could see Max from the corner of my eye being like, okay, I need to see where this goes. What do you mean? Why do you think that? I'm like, oh, well, it's a stereotype that, like, if you're on the spectrum, you tend to, like, maneuver your body to avoid, like, obstacles, but you're still staying in your pathway, and New Yorkers do the same thing. And he's like, huh. And I'm like, see, I am a New Yorker who just barrels my way through it. And they're like, and he said, so what does that make you? And I just said so fast, stupid. And I just remember you taking a second and then going, and that just made me laugh because that one genuinely got you. And I was like, I wasn't even thinking of making you laugh. It was just like, that's my natural response. But the one that I think is an actual nice memory is 22nd birthday. So we are in Anaheim, and I think we went to like City Walk like the day before, and there's this big comic store with shirts and stuff there, and I found like a shirt of Lion from Steven Universe, and I was like, oh, this is a cute shirt, and Max is like, you should get it, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to get it for my... Keep in mind, this is my birthday trip. No, I shouldn't get it for myself. I already got Lauren this like Hufflepuff mug or whatever. This was before J.K. Rowling turned out to be dog water. And he was like, okay. And I just remember when we were at Disney with DeWilsonator and Katie and stuff, him like whispering to them, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, nothing. And then Will's like, oh, so I have to drive Katie back home. I'll be back later. And then Will comes back. And I think this is like the day later. And we're going to go see Jumanji. We're going to go see Jumanji, and it was raining. I was like, okay, so I need to change into clothes. And Max just throws a shopping bag at me, being like, "Here, you can wear this," and I open it, and it's the lion shirt, and you were just like, "Don't say you don't deserve things," and walked out of the room, and I'm just like close to crying, being like, how do I feel? And I still have that shirt, and I love that shirt. That one's an actually nice memory. Like, I am pulling the curtain back. You're actually a good person.
I guess I should stop letting you go first, because now I'm like, oh no, how to keep up with this one?
Oh, well, that one's just like, look, I'm a sentimental person, so I hold a lot of nice memories. If there's just one that's like, oh, that was fun, that one also works. You've known me for 10 years. You should be able to find a memory.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly the topic was, but I recall us, I believe, wasn't it, we were in Phantasialand in Germany, right?
Oh, is this the contentment conversation we had?
Maybe, I don't know, but we had, I remember we had this, like, it was the big roller coaster, the cool one that everybody wants to be on, so the line was accordingly long, and we were just in the line, and we were like consistently for, I don't know, a half an hour, 3/4 an hour, whatever. Those lines don't move very fast, and we were like engaged in a conversation, not a discussion. It was not even about media or anything. It was just like a very engaged conversation, and that is something that one does not have too often nowadays, and one cannot have with anybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the foundation of us knowing each other. Like, the first time we talked to each other was turned into a 6-hour long like call of just shooting the shit back and forth. So it's like, we like hearing ourselves yap, but we like hearing each other yap too. Good question. Do we have something funny? This was too wholesome. This was gross. I feel a film on my teeth.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we have something that gets us into haha funny territory. J-Rock with a Would You Rather on Twitter.
Okay, always good.
Would you rather have the CIA after you or have the mafia after you?
The CIA or the mafia. These are just two sides of the same coin at a certain point.
Shots been fired. But no, we are okay, like the government or the organized. Okay, there's still the same joke in there.
I would rather the CIA, honestly.
Okay.
Here's the thing. The mafia, I am not claiming... Look, just because of my last name, I am not part of the mafia. Just because there was a mob boss with my last name does not mean I was part of the mafia. The mafia does protect its own people. So if you fucking pissed off the mafia, you did something bad. They have a certain, like, threshold. I don't want to know how bad I fucked up that I passed that threshold. With the CIA, they'll tap your phone because you looked at them funny. Like, whatever. But, like, so I at least know that I fucked up less if I'm being, chased by the CIA. So that's my thing.
Funny enough, my original plan was to say like mafia because there is a more interesting story in there. But the way you put it is like, yeah, you must have fucked up really bad to get get on the bad side of the mafia. But now I guess I stick with my guns. That no, because
that's what they're gonna stick in you.
But yeah, there is a more interesting story in there. While CIA is just you are a criminal, but mafia, what did you do?
Yeah, like look, Wolfhead put it best. The CIA will get you. The mafia will make it look like an accident.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I'd rather be put in jail than be put at the bottom of the Hudson River. Like, so there's that.
I mean, given that I'm in Germany, I would even more appreciate to be put into jail rather than the
Hudson River. hey, you can help be part of the water that everyone says is what makes our pizza taste good.
Hey, but
Hey.
then again, the CIA doesn't really have jurisdiction over here. So who would come after me? Why would the CIA come after me in Germany?
What did you do?
Maybe the CIA story is more interesting after all.
Maybe. Okay, one last question.
Okay.
One last question. This one is from Never a Nobody, good old Enigma. Saying, two can play at that same game, Wolf. What is a moment between you two where you learn... Okay, I'm gonna paraphrase this. What is something that you didn't know about the other person before the person said it or something happened? So I'm guessing, like, what was a... I'll phrase it as, what was an interesting thing we learned about each other? Like, a thing where it's like, huh, that doesn't seem you coded, kind of thing. Because I feel like we've had those moments where I'm like, huh, that happened in your backstory, or you have that skill? I mean, I have an easy one. I remember, this is from way back. I did not know that you were in, like a student short film back in the day. And so, like, you know, this is way back of us knowing each other. And you were like, oh yeah, you know, I think we were even watching something that did like a similar effect to what you did in the short film. Cause like, it was like being filmed forwards and then in reverse and stuff. And you were like, oh yeah, I was in one of these things. I was like, really? And then you sent me like I think it was Vimeo or something link to it. Yeah, and I also remember just the fun part of you saying like, yeah, I had to drink that beer so many times in the pub scene.
Yeah.
So that was a fun bit of backstory. That and the croquet bat to the head. Where I was like, oh man, sucks for you, dude. So that, I guess that those are the max factoids. That was like the or you going to America for school when you were in high school. And looking the way that you did, unfortunately, way too close to the Columbine shooting. I'm sorry, that's funny in hindsight. It's been 20-some years, it's funny again.
I mean, I legitimately asked the school counselor
because dude, I
had a certain awareness of it, and I was like, this is probably like I believe the thing was that the counselor was like towards the end of my time there, so basically when people knew me already and were not had no reason to be afraid.
Yeah, they're like, okay, the scary tall German kid, he's fine.
Can come in with a long leather trench coat.
He is not saying concerning things enough that we should be concerned that there's things under the trench coat. But okay, what about you? What was like an I mean, I would say I'm a fairly unusual person, so you have a lot to pick from of you being like, that's part of your that's part of your skill tree.
I mean, damn it, I had a thought just a moment ago. It poof. I mean, nowadays it's probably it's kind of hidden right there in plain sight. The entire astrology thing, because it's like, no, you are or do I mean astronomy?
I think you mean the science thing, right?
The science thing, not the
okay. I was about to say astrology. I'm not Lauren. I don't have crystals, man. Like
no, the astronomy. That because I primarily got to know you as an art person, a creative person. You had the entire music thing going on. You basically, one of our first connections was that you did thumbnail art for my videos, exactly. And and then you at some point being like, oh yeah, it was basically I considered a career in that direction, in astronomy, in like very hard science, like where there is not really anything creative, let's be honest.
I think I even remember this was like this may have been the first BronyCon we went to together. I think we were just walking around because this was like before everyone flew in, and I was just talking about space and weather science for like a really long time, and I said, "Oh yeah, I was going to go into this stuff," and I do remember you being like, "You."
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is such a left hemisphere kind of thing.
I'm very not left-brained. I'm so right-brained.
Yeah, at least by most things that you are nowadays known for and everything. So
I had a moment with newsflash. Someone uses both sides of brain.
Couldn't happen to me.
I actually had this moment with Brett yesterday, actually, where I've known Brett for a similar amount of time of you, a little bit less. And he was showing the trailer to the new Twister sequel, Twisters, which looks stupid as hell.
I recognized all the scenes from the 90s movie. How is this a sequel? This is literally the same story. It's a mere remake, if you ask me.
But like, I was taught, I was like, okay, they are gonna do stupid shit with how to get rid of tornadoes, because you know how tornadoes are made, right? And he's like, yeah, however they're ever made, indicating he doesn't know what causes them. And I just was like, so let me explain how tornadoes are made. And he just had this look of shock on his face of like, why do you know these things? And I said, oh, wanted to go into meteorology or astronomy when I was younger. I was really good at science. And he was like, you were?
The man you are living with for how long?
I mean, to be fair, I'm not talking about fucking Punnett squares and periodic tables.
It's true,
on the cash. But it's one of those things where it's like, if you ask me a science question, that's kind of like starting up a fucking lawnmower on the first pull. It's going to be hard for me to stop because it's a thing that I was very passionate. Also, it explains the fucking space theming that I know.
That's what I meant with hidden in plain sight. You explained to me where the entire cosmic in front of the keyframe came from, and when you pointed it out, I was like, oh yeah, you did mention this entire astronomy thing a while back. But yeah, hidden in plain sight for everybody. Why she is cosmic.
Yeah. And and people only think it's because I like Sailor Moon, and well, that's honestly kind of awkward. This is more awkward.
Please say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random grabs. Time for awkward guests. It's the awkward. Random guests and funny gags on the awkward guests. It's the awkward. Hard work and analysis, which you do not want.